I do not, simply because I want most configurations to have the children sort of working with each other and facing each other. Most of my tables are sort of low so that the kids can sort of get down and work up and over the table, just simply because I have young ones. But there are some chairs too. But most of the seated arrangements are for the purpose of community building and working together. So I do try to use my sort of class meeting space for many different purposes. And so...
Is that on the floor?
That's on the floor, so it's sort of the open area. But that area, depending on where I'm sitting, sort of signals a different kind of work. So if I'm in the butterfly chair, we're often doing readers or writers workshop. Wonder Club happens at the bench on another part of the circle. Story happens in the red rocking chair. So it's all in the same space, but it just slightly signals a different purpose. So having young children, I mean, even if they were older children, they need to move a lot. And so, and they like to run and skip, just generally move. And so the way that I set up the room allows for not a sort of straight through traffic path where they can get up some speed. There are some pathways around and through the materials that allows for movement, but you have to do some more careful movement through that. So I think just the way that the traffic flows, it offers flexibility, and it slows down the movement in the classroom.
So you intentionally place furniture or larger objects in ways that make the children have to take a turn or go around something and then slow themselves down.
And I have put very fragile things right in the middle of an open space so that the awareness has to go up and their care of movement has to increase.
You talked about book tubs. You made a change once in how you distributed books. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. So I when we're first getting ready for our readers workshop, I was putting tubs out in the circle area, thinking that it would be very convenient for them to take a book, put it back, go to another tub, put it back. Sort of convenience was at the top of my list. It was clear that that was causing more sort of chaos and confusion. They were in too tight of space, and they were starting to want to just talk with one another and socialize rather than focus on the books. And so also the care of the books was going down. There were just too many people grabbing and putting things away. So I simply moved the books out to the outer edges of the table, or to the outer edges of the room. Therefore, they had to get up, they had to move, they need to move. So it was sort of intentional movement. And it just caused less sort of stress and confusion on their part, and added a little bit of meaningful movement, just ever so slightly. Sometimes that's all that's needed. You're going to want to go to all the garage sales and get things from your friends' basements. I have collected those over the years. I didn't start with any of that stuff, but slowly started to add a bookcase here, a bench here. Part of it was that I wanted something less institutional looking. I wanted something softer. I tend to buy things that are wood and natural materials. The tables and chairs are all there. Some of the bookshelves are the schools. But I have added in, over these many years, things that I just feel more comfortable with and like to look at. I have to live there all day, and I want it to be a more beautiful spot, and I want it to be beautiful for the kids too.